Hey toy fans, Aaron here. Today taking a look at the Saga Collection release of Captain Antilles. He was released in 2004 on the what is known as the Phase 3 of that line. It gets you the darker blue background, gold stripe on the left side of the card, generally indicating what movie the figure's from, but in this case identifying that he's a fan choice figure. You also get the sticker on the blister, and through that blister you get a good look at the figure you're getting, the stand that's included, and then on the bottom you got an image of him from the movie along with his name and theme of the figure, which in this case is Tantive IV Invasion. Left side of the card you got his number in the lineup, which is number 15, his name, and the various things that are included, and you get the same thing listed on the right side of the blister. Here's a look at the back side of the card, where the top half basically is all about Captain Antilles. You got a brief description of what he was up to in the movie. To the right you get an image from the film, which is the same as what was shown on the front of the card. Below that, a couple shots of the action figure that you're getting, and then bottom half of the card shows off 8 other figures that were available in the line at the time. Taking a look at the figure out of the packaging, and okay, in its kind of base generic form with the hands kind of to the side, his neck is already stretched out, and even with the head tilted forward, it's still looking up. He's gonna look a little bit weird. And that's because this action figure was sculpted basically with one pose in mind, and that was being choked by Darth Vader. Once you move the hands into the position that he should be, where they're kind of grabbing for Vader's hand around his neck, the head tilted up more, this figure starts to come to life. And then if you add in Darth Vader, because I had to do it, you're definitely getting what you want out of the action figure. You're recreating that scene from Star Wars, and the figure is being displayed the way it was meant to be, or rather how the sculpt lends for it to be displayed. All that aside, going in for a closer look at the figure. Start real quick with the helmet, which is removable. Sculpting and detailing to it certainly looks how it should. Nice white color to it. The black painting that you're getting on the top of the helmet. Sorry, you're probably not getting a great look at it, but for the most part placed right where it needs to be. Gray antenna on the left side of the helmet is sculpted on there. Nothing removable or any articulation with it, but that's just fine. Decent gray coloring. Nothing bleeding off the edges there. And then that chin strap. Good black painting coming down. Hugs just below the chin of the figure and stays in place. It's not going to fall off or anything, and it's easy to remove. Just slide that chin strap up, and that reveals the figure's head, where, like I said, he's going to have a weird look. He is sculpted in that moment where he's being choked for his life, so a little bit of fear sculpted on his face. Ignore the little white mark stuck on his hair that kind of chipped off from the helmet, but aside from that little white that hung on, sculpting to the hair looks just fine. Nice brown painting for that. Eyeballs are painted in very well. I like the little open mouth expression that he has, and even the little tiny teeth sculpted in there, so nice attention to detail. The neck, yes, it is just a little bit long, but like I said, when you've got him in position of being choked, it works well. Not the best skin tone matching between the face and the neck, not the end of the world. And then moving down for the chest and arms, everything really looks great. I think the last couple reviews have really kind of moved down the line from a Power of the Force figure to Power of the Jedi and now into Saga Collection. And it's quite amazing to see how far along the detail in the figures really come. You're getting a lot more fabric sculpting through the arms, all the various ruffles, folds, some texture even sculpted in there, decent draping of the sleeves. And yes, if you're not displaying them being choked, your hands are going to be at this kind of very sharp bent position, or like you saw in the back of the card, you could put the arms behind the figure. Generally in this line, what you could do with the swivel elbows is just swing them around so that the arms would usually stay straight and just give the hands a turn at the wrist. In this case, due to that extreme bend in the elbow, he's going to look goofy doing that. It's going to look like his elbows are bent forward. So it doesn't work so well in that position, but for the pose that we get when he's being choked, that's the price I'm willing to pay. Moving on the rest of that jacket though, really hugs the body well. Nice brown color at the top of the coat. Great painting for the emblem on the right side of his jacket. Pocket detailing just below that, and that is on both sides of the jacket in the middle and along the bottom of the coat. And still good texture sculpted in. And I love the way, like I said, it hugs the body. And also you've got some stress lines with that jacket. If the arms are raised up, you can see that jacket being pulled up. Some creases in there. So good attention to detail there. Shirt underneath done in an olive green color. Basic texture sculpted in. Otherwise, not a lot to say about that. Brown belt sculpted around the waist. The nice silver belt buckle. Looks like that silver might have worn off a little bit on mine. Figure this old, it's hard to say what happened. Left side of his hip, he does have a functioning holster sculpted in there, and that is just on the leg, so that holster does not impede any of the articulation. Nice darker green painting for the pants. Similar texturing to the fabric also that we saw for the shirt and the jacket. Some nice black lines running down the outer parts of the legs. And then as those pants go into the boots, nice ruffling of the fabric being bunched up. And the boots themselves, nice deep brown color. Some seams of the boot sculpted in on the backside. And then also just kind of some bends of that boot being sculpted in around the ankles. As far as that articulation and leaving the helmet on, since basically the figure's kind of meant to be displayed in that manner, just a tiny bit of movement up and down and side to side, but you still get a full swivel. Full rotation at the shoulders, and you get your swiveling at the elbows. Full swivel for both wrists. Full swivel at the waist. Both legs come straight out, and you even get a good range of motion going backwards. As far as accessories, you get his blaster and that included figure stand. As far as the sculpting to the blaster, it's your basic Rebel blaster. There's lots of little intricate details sculpted in there. It is all done in the black color as you see here, and no other special weathering or paint detailing to it. Pretty standard for the line at that time though. It fits very well in his right hand, where he even has that index finger sticking out to slide into the trigger. And as I mentioned earlier, you got the functioning holster on the left side of his thigh. Due to the length of that coat, you're going to need to slide the leg forward to get that blaster in there. But aside from that, no problem getting it to fit in. And then finally, here's a quick look at that included figure stand. Not a lot to say to it. Great piece of plastic. You got a Star Wars logo on there. A tab at the top and on the left side so that you could connect this to other figure stands that, came with the rest of the figures in the line. And then along the bottom and right side are the tabs that would connect to those other pieces. And then, of course, you got your little foot peg on top so it holds your figure upright with no problem. So overall for me, this is really a great figure. I wouldn't mind getting one that can kind of look a little bit more normal, head facing forward and stuff. Especially since we saw the character in Rogue One. Beyond that, though, this really does fit exactly what I would want from a Captain Antilles figure from A New Hope. I would want to recreate that scene of him being choked by Vader. So I'm glad they sculpted this figure with that particular scene in mind. The expression on his face that they sculpted in looks great. And really, I can't find anything not to like about the figure. So that's going to wrap this one up. I'd love to know what your thoughts are on this figure in the comments section below. And as always, thanks for watching.